and start something called Al-Qaeda. And we'll say we're unassociated with you. Not us. Well, you're Saudi Arabians, but we don't have anything to do with them. But we fund them, we give them money, we do this, we do that. Well, we got nothing to do with them. So I said to someone, well, what if the unthinkable does happen? And it's unfortunately very likely. How are we going to cope with it? What are we going to do to solve the problems of 9/11? I'll give you just another quick story. I said to my mother, why isn't there a security guard at your entrance here? That person's incompetent. She says, the people don't want to spend the money. I says, but you had 3 crimes in the last 3 weeks. She said, but they don't want to spend the money. That's true throughout the entire country. We are still absolutely, it's going to take another cataclysmic event, maybe 2, for the real changes to take place. Do you think these terrorists have gone away? What makes you think they've gone away? There's hundreds of thousands of them. They have not gone away, unfortunately. Putting that aside, the only thing else that's wrong is short-term rates are too low. And if you want to forecast anything, you'll forecast that interest rates rise. Exactly how and when? Probably sooner rather than later. Probably some unexpected way. There are some offsets to that. But even with the offsets as to the direction of interest rates, it would be a silly bet. You have to bet in your mind that interest rates are going up. And if you try to make a genius view that there's too much consumption and too many houses built and too many cars built because of the low interest rates, you'll probably go wrong. You have to know intuitively that too low. The savings rate is too low. Watch the savings rate. If you see the savings rate start to tick up, the economy will start to cool down. We said to someone the other day, what did the market do last year? They said badly. It was a Democrat. We said it's up 25%. Oh, really? That is the nature of many old-line Democrats in South Florida. The financial media, that's a fact, Howard. That's a fact that I've tested out. That's the financial media. The financial media has a complete lack of accountability. They can say anything. They can bring anyone on the programs that they want. The really good people don't come on and speak on the TV. They're all short sound bites. They're confusing. Remember the historical rates of return. Remember the sectors. Remember the short-term volatility. Media has false and misleading information. It's meant to get ads on the television. It's not meant to inform. It's meant to get your time. The savings and loans. Okay. The Yemeni connection. Very quick. I see people are leaving, so we'll close down real quick, okay? Let's skip this. The British and the French are always going to be a little bit different. They're too close to the problems. The customers' yachts don't exist. It's the money managers that have all of the money and the individuals that start companies and build companies and see America in a long-term way. Okay. Poverty and birth rates are 2 of the biggest problems the world faces. The absurdity of CalPERS, which is the big... Oh, this is a very interesting thing. The big pension funds that run the state, they don't have to tell you how they do. The fact that they didn't allocate their money to stocks until the stock market had gone up for 20 years, but they run around as if they know something. They don't. The proxy power of bureaucrats. Bureaucrats run the country today. We won't stop on that. Some of the positives, and I'll be out of your way, okay? Bush is a genius. He kept the oil coming. You take for granted that within all of this chaos, they had to keep pumping out the oil. They didn't. Right, they kept it. The oil still comes. That in itself is an unbelievable, enormous accomplishment. Russia and China, they're our friends. It ain't perfect. Russia and China are a heck of a lot more important than Al-Qaeda. You know, they just passed, this is probably the most important piece of news in the newspaper in the last 5 years. Russia just passed a deposit insurance bill, $3,500. Russia now insures deposits. You don't think that's more important than the rhetoric? Much more important. And by the way, you don't have to use mutual funds. There are all kinds of different ways to play the stock market today and maintain liquidity. Mutual funds can close down, not allow you to, if you put $5 million into a mutual fund and you want to get out during a given period of time, you may not be able to, but there are other instruments like SPYs and various kinds of things that have been created that didn't exist years ago. The opportunities in America are absolutely enormous. They're only just beginning. Hewlett Packard's run by a woman, American Express by a black man, Citicorp by a Jew. 20 years ago, Saul Steinberg, one of our illustrious members, tried to take over a chemical bank. It was absolutely impossible. Young people have choices. The fact that the economy was able, this is important, the fact that the economy withstood the huge decline in the technology sector and is where it is today tells you just a little bit about the vibrance of where we stand. The outlook for America is superb, not bad. Terror, another story. Long-term threat of substitution of oil. If we had to, we'll get rid of it. Now I'm going to read you something real quick and I'll be done, okay? Know your risk level. Know it for yourself. You can take all the gambles you want to get rich, but know if you're taking a gamble. Everything you buy doesn't have to be a huge position. This is outside the framework of your big issues of money and how to allocate them. Build on your successes. Never ever do something you don't think is right by emotions. If you think it's right, you hear Bernie Marcus, it sounds right. If you walk into a Starbucks and you think it's good, you walk into Kmart, you think it's bad, your intuition is likely to be right, okay? You have a thought, act on it, and by all means have patience. You will never, never succeed in investments in the short run. Okay, well anyhow, the market can go up as well as down, and I think that's enough. I leave you with John, one last thing. Remember historical perspectives. Do not be misled by the media. Thank you very much.